What's up? What to do? Welcome back to the channel. Man, it's Eon DC Black's platform, and this BMF shout out to Cuffy situation with this Frank's motion is moving faster than I can even drop it. So I told you I was gonna give y'all three, but I kind of went into the evidentiary hearing and the Frank's motion, so I kind of got caught up in that and missed a day or so. So what I want to do right now is I just kind of want to close out. And to close out the part three of this 32-page motion, what I wanted to touch on was the August 5th, 2012 situation. Now, at around 11 a.m. on August 5th, 2012, Suarez, which is the Mexican Connect, that's the guy that Meech was in jail with at the St. Clair County Jail in Michigan. He began to contact Tammy using two different telephone numbers. Suarez also sent text messages from a number 213-260-2841. Specifically around 11 a.m., Suarez sent Tammy a text asking her to call Cuff. Suarez needed to get in touch with him. He needed to call Cuff, and Suarez was trying to find him. Tammy needed to be able to get in touch with Cuff for Suarez, according to the paperwork. Jack Harvey, he was still in contact with Tammy in March of 2015, although he had retired around 2010 or 2011. So for some reason, she constantly had contact with Jack Harvey, which we know. And we know that Jack Harvey was the main lead DEA agent that was taking down the whole Black Mafia family. Suarez made 14 calls to Tammy, trying to get in touch with Cuff, according to the document. Cromer, who was not in the car with Tammy at the time, he was really in the car with his family returning from a trip where they went to South Carolina. So Tammy had to send Cromer text messages about the situation at that time. The target telephone number, 314-598-2330. Tammy added Cromer in via three-way call. So, to go back to the people that say that the DEA agent, the one that she ended up having a relationship with, Agent Cromer, was in the car with her, according to the paperwork, that is not true. She tapped him in via three-way call. Suarez was allegedly upset and frustrated because he was driving a delivery truck and had the delivery truck loaded with narcotics. Tammy's statements that are contrary to the statements in the signed affidavit. Agent Cromer was not in the car with Tammy on the August 5th date. Get that straight. That part of Tammy's testimony is deemed not entirely credible by the court. So when I was dropping these videos leading up to this final one right here, although I believe the way Cuffy put the story, because it makes sense when you read when you read these motions and you read this paperwork, you got to fully understand the dynamics of it. But Tammy is not credible at all. If Cuffy and Suarez met Tammy through Demetrius, he got to take some accountability for that. Now, Agent Keith Cromer testified that he was in South Carolina with family on a trip on August 5th, according to the evidentiary hearing. His credit card records prove that. All Tammy does is lie, according to the defense attorneys, when she has to. Cromer couldn't even remember parts of the conversation he allegedly overheard. He was never on the phone with Suarez, period. We can take that out of the equation. This is why the different affidavits were bogus. The case for the entire Dion Gatlin case, the drug part of it, should have been dismissed. So around 3:48 p.m., Cromer relayed info to DEA St. Louis agents. The follow-up investigations occurred on August 6th, where Tammy was talking to the DEA agents and she told different stories. So that occurred via telephone. Tammy alleged that she didn't even know who she was talking to at the time. Agent Lang did the background investigation of Tammy on August 6, 2012. Physical surveillance of Cuff and trash pulls. Nothing came of it. And for real, I'm going to kind of like end on this point. So it's been a lot of discussion between me and other people that cover this story about, the second affidavit or these notes that was taken in 2011. Some people say that it's not a real affidavit or this didn't occur. All I want to say, and I'm not trying to sneak this nobody that I've been talking to about it. I'm just saying this flat out verbatimly, right? If the notes and the unincorporated affidavit were made a part of evidence, then like it or not, whether I like it or the next person like it, once it's made evidence, it's part of the case. And just like when they read you your Miranda rights, anything you say can and will be used against you. In debriefing, Tammy on August 6, 2012, Agent Lane confirmed and incorporated Tammy's info into the affidavit. A lot of people say, where does Demetrius say this or where does Demetrius say that? In this situation right here, I don't believe you're going to get no situation where you're going to see Demetrius say such and such and it's recorded, unless they're recorded phone calls that Tammy has and she's going to drop that with 50 Cent. But as far as the paperwork, it don't say that. But what leaves Meech with dirty hands is the fact that he was dealing with this woman, and this woman's been a known DA informant, paid DA informant for over a decade. And for him to come home and not address the matter with Cuffy and not address the matter pertaining to whatever his involvement with Tammy is, that's going to always leave him suspect. I'm going to say this again. My whole thing that made me raise my eyebrow at the whole BMF matter was that Demetrius was connected closely with Tammy while she was running around working as a DEA paid informant. There's no way around that. And if you go into what Agent Lang from the DEA says, and it's still based upon Tammy, but you can't pick and choose. I see a lot of people saying, Tammy said Meech ain't had nothing to do with it. This is the final thing that I'm going to say that says that if you want to quote Tammy, Tammy says this. Tammy connected the dots according to Agent Lang of St. Louis DEA. When he questioned Tammy on August 6th, Tammy told Agent Lang that she facilitated the intro between Suarez and Cuffy at Flannery's request for the purpose of Suarez supplying Cuffy with multiple kilogram quantities of drugs. That's on page 20. Tammy to Agent Lang that Tammy told Agent Lang that Suarez and Flannery had met while both were incarcerated in Michigan in 2005, and that Flannery will receive some sort of benefit based on the drug trafficking relationship between Suarez and Cuff. She never met either, only had phone conversations with them at Flannery's request. Cuff's case should have been dismissed according to the Franks versus Delaware. A search warrant may be invalid if the issuing judge's probable cause determination was based on an affidavit containing false or omitted statements made knowingly and intentionally or with reckless disregard for the truth. And I could give you two things that was done that was false statements or omitted, depending on which ones you want to talk about. We could go to omitted first. If she omitted the fact that she was in a relationship with DEA agent Keith Cromer, that's a hell of a situation because it's going to ruin the whole case, which is what I believe she tried to do when she saw her name in Pacer. And if there were false statements in the affidavit, which should have got rid of the case according to the Franks versus Delaware, which is a Supreme Court case, then one of the statements has to be false. When she said that Demetrius was with it and he facilitated it, and then she said that Demetrius wasn't with it. Both of these statements are part of evidence in the case. That right there should have killed the probable cause in the affidavit as being false or omitted statements. Check it out for yourself. I'm about to dig into this, the transcript of the Franks motion, and then I'm gonna kind of educate myself on what this plea thing is, because I see some people, they documenting it like that the plea had some things in it that made it specifically a downward departure, which made it hot. I don't know if I agree with that yet, but I'm definitely going to dig into this 11C1C and find out if there's any way to get a reward, as I'm being told that you can be awarded or given a reward through 11C1C. For those who might not know what that is, I don't want to talk too legal on you, but a lot of people know what a Rule 35 is, a way to snitch, or 5K1 is a way to snitch. Now they saying that an 11C1C is a way in which you can get awarded for something and not be exposed as you being a cooperator. I don't know that. I'm going to check that. Make sure that if you don't already, If you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at DC Blacks, the one with the blue check. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be back. I'm gonna run through that other part of this BMF situation, and then we're gonna get back to some of this other them Lorton prison stories, man. Free the real.